What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Like, and I'm back with another YouTube video in the spot. You get what I'm saying? This one, we got another reaction, some crazy shit. You get what I'm saying? I don't know. It's always some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, the cops unknowingly enter a. You see the title. You know what I'm saying? But without further ado, let's get into the video. I ain't gonna hold you too long. Let's get it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let's get it.
Here, but I can't organize.
No, don't do that, sir.
Just kill me.
And we're doing it for the families of the victims.
Victims?
When the police in Albuquerque, New Mexico responded to a domestic dispute on April 6, 2020, they had no idea that they were about to make contact with a criminal who was hiding a horrific secret. In fact, it would take another year before they realized the appalling extent of the perpetrator's crimes.
And I tried to be nice, and they never appreciated it.
The following report is based on police records, and the footage has never been seen before until now. The police became involved after they received several urgent calls from a woman named Cynthia, who reported that her nephew, 52-year-old Paul Apodaca, had beaten her violently after a brief argument. Despite her injuries, Cynthia managed to barricade herself and her 96-year-old mother Alvina in the back bedroom, where they now waited for rescue. The first police on scene were greeted with an alarming sight.
They're coming. Someone's coming to the door, dude. I think it's the nephew. Hello.
Deadly force, sir.
What's that?
Deadly force.
Sir, can you please put the knives away? Please, put the knives away, okay?
Oh, man.
I'm not playing with you, bro. Put the knives away.
Kill me.
No.
Killing
Can
me.
we talk to you, okay? Sure. We don't want to do this, brother.
I know that I can't reach you from here, but I can't organize.
No. Don't do that, sir.
Just kill me.
Paul was
Just
no
kill
stranger to
me.
law enforcement.
Yo,
In
he's
addition to being a
bugging.
registered sex offender, he'd been incarcerated multiple times for charges including kidnapping.
Fuck up. Right here, look. Right here. This he had a chance right here. Unless he was doing the sex offender shit right here. Then he never really had a chance. But he had a chance right here. He didn't have to do all of this shit and end up like this. Look at this. Look at this guy. Him compared to this guy. That shit's crazy, bro. You could just see the regression slowly. He had a little break from here to here. Little small break. This looked like the next month. Probably like the next 2 months. This shit right here. This probably was a couple years. And then, yeah, this is another couple years probably, but...
Assault
on the
and
roll,
felony
bro.
aggravated battery. However, the most depraved aspects of his criminal history were not yet known.
Has been putting powder in my nose all night, and it drove me crazy.
Well, let's talk about that, okay? That's what we're here
Right, you're
for.
not gonna believe me.
Huh?
You're not gonna believe me. You're gonna think I'm insane.
Come on, buddy. Let's just talk, okay?
No. Talk.
Hostage situation.
Let's talk.
No. You
Hostage
3, 2, 1, Mel, just walk back into
situation got me
the house.
beat.
While these officers attempted to wrangle Paul, several others jumped the backyard fence to make contact with Cynthia and Alvina, still barricaded in the back of the house.
All these people crap out of me.
What did he hit you with?
This?
Very quickly, the officers realized that Cynthia's injuries were far worse than they originally thought.
She's very beat up. Very beat up. So we need to get in there.
I checked my mom.
Okay. Give us 1 sec. We're gonna get in there.
This, law enforcement would eventually learn, was just a small example of Paul's capacity for violence. At the moment, the officers didn't yet know how far Paul was willing to go. Several police officers had entered the room Cynthia and Alvina were in, prepared to defend them if necessary. Despite the danger Paul posed, his grandmother Alvina was determined to ensure his safety, even at the expense of her own well-being.
You need to go outside. They can't get medical attention until you step out the front.
Okay.
So go out the front door now with your hands up and empty. We're not messing around.
I need you to stick to your man. Look me in the eyes when you see.
You need to go to the front door.
You need to go to the front door. Fuck that.
Son,
And we're trying not to, man.
go to the front, Paul. For God's sakes, he's mental.
Did he hit you?
Damn, bro. The grandma in the spot. That's mad, just sad. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Paul?
My grandson.
Since Paul was blocking the main exit, the officers called the fire department, requesting a ladder to rescue the hostages through the window. This would prove to be easier said than done, especially when a new complication arose outside when another family member rushed to the scene in an emotional state.
I know. My grandma can't climb through that fucking ladder back there.
I know. That's why we put a couple officers in there.
Just shoot him. Shoot him. I don't care. That's my cousin. Kill
Your
him.
car?
Yes.
Please wait inside your car.
I can't. That's my grandma. That's my grandma.
I get that, but you need to wait inside your car.
I called you guys and I sat here and I
right
waited
now,
3
you're taking our
hours.
attention off of this.
Then
and
go
onto
do your
you.
job. I'm not
Go
doing
sit
shit.
in your car.
You too.
Luckily, the police managed to convince Cynthia to climb down the ladder. She was later taken to the hospital for medical attention and would tell a harrowing tale of how she got her injuries and the steps she took to protect her mother.
So were you afraid that he was going to kick down the door?
Yeah, well, I didn't know what he was crazy beating me like, I told you never to tell me nothing. Don't ever tell me what to do. Oh, please, Grandma. Grandma, you're gonna give her a heart attack. Oh, yes, I know, I seen that one. And then I like kind of like pushed him and I go, Mom, are you okay? Mom, please get up. And that's when he like pooped out and he like got her, Grandma, and don't touch me. Grandma, you okay? Don't touch me, she put her. And that's when I jumped up.
Still at the scene, the next priority was getting Alvina out to join Cynthia as the officers tried to persuade her to leave.
Okay, ma'am. In order for us to help him, we have to get you out. Come on.
Nope.
Ma'am, I need you to try to get down, okay? You can scoot down that ladder. You don't have to climb down it, okay?
I don't want to. I won't.
You need to.
Leave
Have to.
my grandson.
You need to, okay?
Eventually, the officers managed to coax Alvina out of the window and guided her safely down the ladder. Seconds after, Paul appeared at the back door.
Take her. Oh, you got contact.
Keep walking out. Keep walking out. Walk out to the sound of my voice.
Hands up now! Put
Get your hands in the air. Drop whatever's in your hand.
Put your hands up now!
Put your hands
Okay,
up.
hands in the air. Step
Put your
down.
hands up, you're about to get 40, sir.
Step down.
You're about to get 40'd. I don't know what
Put
that
your
is.
hands up in the air.
That gotta be shot.
Turn around and face the house.
Turn around.
Put your hands behind your head and then release your fingers.
Put your hands down. Put your hands down.
Beat.
Oh yeah, that
Okay.
beanbag
Turn
hurt.
over. Turn over.
Even
Yeah,
with the
that
suspect
beanbag
subdued, the
That
emotional
beanbag
turmoil on
hurt.
scene was far from over. Hearing the shots and not realizing the officers had fired beanbag rounds, Alvina immediately became distressed.
He's okay. He's okay. He's okay.
They didn't shoot him.
No, he's okay.
See, they just put him down, girl.
He's okay. Come on.
Paul was arrested and convicted of assaulting a peace officer with a deadly weapon, but it would only be over a year after Paul served his sentence for this crime that the police would learn that they hadn't even scratched the surface of his criminal record. More chilling details about events connected to several 30-year-old cold cases were about to surface. On July 20th, 2021, over a year after the assault on Cynthia, Paul was spotted wandering around outside a children's psychiatric hospital. He was arrested as there was a felony warrant out for violating probation. Yet again, this was nothing compared to the bombshell Paul was about to drop.
Got air conditioning back there, Paul? Why not? What'd you do?
I murdered out here. I never told anyone.
Why not?
Wasn't as dreadful and remorseful as I.
Shockingly, the woman Paul mentioned had been murdered more than 3 decades prior, on the
30
evening of
years
June
ago?
22nd, 1988. As far as the police could tell, 21-year-old Althea had stepped out for a walk after an argument with her boyfriend, only to fall victim to a senseless crime they were never able to explain. Until
Damn.
now. Now, as the officers took Paul straight to the police station, 2 cold case detectives sat down with him to see if he was telling the truth.
You didn't know Althea?
Yeah, she was walking behind.
She what?
Alfie was walking home from the day. I don't know. My intention was to rape.
Okay.
I stabbed her to death. I didn't know that I was going to do that.
How many times did you stab her?
Twice in the shoulder blade, at least twice in the left side.
Now taxes? is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free.
According to police reports from 1988, a neighbor heard Althea scream. She called the police as the attacker fled and Althea collapsed. Police and rescue units were immediately dispatched, but tragically, their efforts were not enough to save Althea, who soon passed away in the hospital. Several witnesses were able to describe the suspect, and a composite sketch was published in the local newspaper. Unfortunately, this didn't lead to any substantial leads, and the case eventually went cold. The detectives went to speak with Paul's brother, hoping to gain further insight. During the conversation, they broke some horrendous news.
We're doing it for the families of the victims.
Victims? That's a little on me.
And yet, Althea's murder was just the beginning of Paul's brutal rampage.
Another girl was crossing a bridge. We heard her name.
In the interrogation room, the cold case detectives pushed for more details.
What does she look like?
I couldn't tell at the range.
Okay. How did you kill her?
I shot her.
Mere months after Althea's murder, on September 9, 1988, 13-year-old Stella Gonzalez was walking home with her friend Hope. The two girls were stopped by some men in a car who tried to pick them up. While Stella briefly spoke to them, Hope pulled her away as the car drove off. But minutes later, gunshots were fired in their direction, and Stella was tragically struck and killed. Depressingly, there were no witnesses to the crime besides Hope. The only potential lead came from a police officer who'd observed the girls walking, as well as a car which might have been a blue Chevrolet Chevelle with 3 Hispanic males inside. With no additional witnesses, this case went cold just like Althea's. Worse, all the files on the case were destroyed in a fire in the police station's evidence room in 2010. Finally, the cold case detectives asked Paul about one more.
That's God right there. That's God coming into this God right here and really like, yo, bro, just go and just spill all the beans. You're holding too much back. Ain't no therapist that can help you with this type of stuff. You gotta go to jail for you gotta go for the rest of your life. You're done. You know what I'm saying? You killing 13-year-olds. You trying to rape people, stabbing them. You doing wild shit, bro.
He mentioned to the officers who brought him to the station.
Can you look at this photo and tell me if you recognize this person right here on the phone?
Yes, that's Caitlin.
That's Caitlin?
Yeah.
Okay.
32 years earlier, on the evening of July 16, 1989,
Yo.
2 detectives stumbled upon what they thought was a traffic accident, only to discover a bone-chilling crime scene. The woman police found behind the wheel, later identified as 18-year-old Caitlin Arquette, had been shot twice in the head. The police would later learn she'd been driving home from a friend's house when she was disastrously intercepted. Notably, there was only one witness, none other than Paul Apodaca. He told the police he'd not seen what happened, but stopped to offer help just as they had. After providing his phone number, he slipped away from the scene unnoticed. Tragically, Caitlin succumbed to her wounds the next day, but no further evidence was found.
Caitlin's mother, Lois Duncan, she wrote the series I Know What You Did Last Summer. She also wrote a book about her daughter who killed my daughter. And I read that.
6 years after Caitlin's death, Lois hired a private...
That's the butterfly effect. Wait, hold on. We gotta go back, y'all. We gotta go back. So this man kills a girl, and then her mother goes on to write. Wait, what is going on?
Found.
Caitlin's mother, Lois Duncan, she wrote the series I Know What You Did Last Summer. She also wrote a book about her daughter who killed my daughter. And I read that.
6 years after Caitlin's death,
crazy,
Lois hired a
butterfly
private
effect.
investigator who allegedly had strong suspicions about Paul's involvement. But despite this, the case remained unsolved. Now, the harrowing details of what really happened to Caitlin would come to light at long last.
When I saw her, I walked up to the car, had already shot her, cerebral swelling had been on her face and head were swelling.
You said you had already shot her?
Yes.
And you walked up to her? Okay. What kind of car did she have?
It was a red car, something.
And where did you shoot her?
I never touched her. but I shot her and killed her.
In a later interview, Paul further explained that Caitlin had pulled up next to him to stop at a red light. He fired twice, and when the light turned green, Caitlin pulled forward, crossing the median and crashing her car into a pole. Paul said he then hid his firearm under his seat and drove up to investigate her condition. Paul's frenzied violence didn't stop there. In 1990, he was charged with aggravated battery after shooting a man who he claimed he mistook for a woman. More disturbing insight connecting to this was
I'm not even real. I'm just so in shock that he's killing people, but why is he killing women? I just realized that. Like, he's trying to rape women and shoot. Like, what happened to him as a kid? And he thinks that's the way to, like, that shit is just nutty.
around the corner. However, before addressing this, the detectives questioned what motivated Paul to come forward with these terrible admissions after more than 3 decades of silence.
It's taken me so long to know how much a pain I've caused. What I considered the ultimate sin when I killed Althea. Not that I could do no more harm. After years and years of contemplating and researching, I understand all the pain that I've caused, and I feel it for families of the people that I've murdered and raped. I've seen it in my own family, and I've done it to my own family.
Paul claimed that his latest incarceration for assaulting Cynthia left him with a lot of time to contemplate his actions. He claims he spent the year crying for offending God and for hurting his victims and their families. He recounted holding a napkin to his face to collect the tears, wrote down why he was crying, and placed the napkins in between the pages of his Bible, creating what he called a book of tears.
God is forgiving. God loves us and He forgives. How am I trying to understand everything that I've done?
Common sense finally hit him at however old he is now, 61, 51, whatever age he is. It's now clicking. Common sense.
I've come to realize that I don't deserve to be forgiven.
The question of what could have driven Paul to such horrific actions remained unclear until he made one final harrowing admission.
Why did you do it?
I had anger in my heart against women.
You had what in your heart?
Why?
Anger. Okay.
Resentment.
Why?
Because I've always seen men treat women bad, and they have older women, and I tried to be nice, and they never appreciated it.
On January 29th, 2020,
No role model, nobody to look up to. Only people to look up to is beating their wives, like doing all this other shit. But I don't think they were killing them. So that's kind of like a wacky excuse for him to try to use that. But
Paul Apodaca pleaded guilty to 3 counts of second-degree murder, 1 count of kidnapping, as well as 1 count of first-degree attempted criminal sexual penetration for assaulting Althea. He was sentenced to 45 years in prison. While Paul confessed to several additional sexual assaults, he was never charged. If released, he will be on parole for 2 years and on probation for 5 years.
Jesus fucking Christ. He's cooked, honestly. He's cooked. I don't think he should be released. Even though he did try to do a redemption tour, it's too late, nigga. You had these families pained out for you to get common sense now at however age you are, bro. 60, 50, whatever you now reaching common sense. I don't know. Your mom failed you. Your people failed you, bro. And now you just in a fucked up situation like that you caused. Because you over here thinking that other people is beating and doing this, so this is the right way. And nobody ever told you that's not the way to do it. I don't know, bro. But that's the video, yo. I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace, y'all. Don't be like this. Bricks for 6.